My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning and happy Thursday. What an awesome day. Tell you what, I stepped out of my door today and I was greeted with the most gorgeous weather. The upside of the hurricane going up into the Atlantic and the one going out into the Gulf is it has sucked all the moisture out of our air, and I am grateful. And it doesn't look like the hurricanes are going to hurt anybody, so let's keep that in mind. Well, I want to welcome you to the show. Thank you for coming. Don't forget, like, love, and share. Very important. Help us spread the word. Help us get the eyes out there, because I think we have a very good message to share about our community here at South Lake. Also, today on the show, we're going to talk about hair loss. Yes, both men and women's hair loss. No, we're not going to talk about it this year. We are going to talk about it. Okay, I'm getting mixed signals from my producer over here. We're going to talk about hair loss. Today we're going to talk about readers or leaders, concept we'll talk about in just a minute. Readers or Leaders is actually a new segment we're going to be doing on Thursdays. We're going to talk about a book, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Today, we're also going to talk about the advice test. It's a concept I have. I hope you'll stay tuned. And finally, I am so grateful we got back Donna Digennaro. Once again, we had a few issues on Monday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have her on, although she was great and had come on. She had come on and she was here early and she patiently waited and we just couldn't get it worked out. And but she's agreed to come back. You know, normally today is housing, but we're going to do Donna today. I'm really excited to have her. Look, we're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to hear from our sponsors and we'll be back in just a minute. I'm really excited about today's show, so see you in a few minutes.
Welcome to Erika's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erika's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Saturday night, October 5th, Claremont, Florida, get ready as Local Pro Wrestling presents Fight Fest, featuring 6 hard-hitting matches, including the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, against Aaron Epic. In the semi-main event, a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal, and former TNA superstar Mr. 630 Jarrell Clark. And the main event for the evening, former WWF WCW superstar, the Cuban Assassin, takes on the marquee Bruce Santee. Adult tickets are $15 and children ages 5 to 12 are only $10. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite. For more details, follow us on Facebook at Local Pro Wrestling or visit localprowrestling.com. Come support Local Pro Wrestling live.
Welcome back. Love hearing from the sponsors. You should use their businesses. Got a special place in my heart for them. All right. Number one, what are we going to talk about today? Hair loss. Now, for a lot of us, this is a touchy subject. Apparently, Jay was shaking his head because I brought up the subject and it's one of his issues. I don't know why. He's got a full head of hair I'm actually jealous of. But here's the as we
I
can
don't know,
tell.
Joe. I'm holding on, man. I'm holding on.
Here's the deal. The older you get, nature of life is the more hair I lose up here, it seems the more it appears other places. We won't go into that, but hair loss seems to be a problem for people. And I'm always amazed. Look, I'm losing my hair. Would I like to keep my hair? Yes, I would like to keep my hair. Am I going to get surgery or rub a cream on every day? I knew a guy once. He was in my family, too. And he was confused. And he spent 2 years telling people that he was rubbing Viagra, that he was using Viagra, and the Viagra was working. It was making everything grow. And what he meant to say was Rogaine. Because these two products came out around the same time. And, we'd be in a conversation and he'd bring this up. It's an uncle of mine. Bring this up and we'd be like, hey, not in a restaurant. He'd be like, why can't I talk about my Viagra in a restaurant? Anyways, turns out he was talking about Rogaine. Because it bothered him, his hair loss. Well, the dumbest things happen on TV. And, of course, we all know the cliche. I'm not just the owner of the customer of the company. I'm a client, too. We've all seen the guy with the bad hair plugs, right? With the uniformity you could see. Jay, if you'd bring that up for me, I'd appreciate it.
There you go.
This is called the Capillus Ultra, okay? And this is actually a baseball cap you're supposed to wear that has lasers in it that grow your hair. I'm sorry. All right. Marketing really is amazing to me. People fall for this stuff. I mean, they got the money to advertise this somehow. This thing is $1,000. And what does it break down to? It's basically a baseball cap with lights inside to make your scalp feel warm. They ain't no lasers, people. Use your brain. Jay, bring up that other one. And it isn't men that's just stupid. Yep, they have one for women too. This is another company. What is this? The Hair Max? I think this is the Hair Max.
This is the Hair Max Laser Band 82.
And
she looks happy.
Yeah, women are getting hair thinning and hair loss, and by putting this on, you could get ultimate joy from regrowing your hair. Look, folks, if you're losing your hair, just accept it. It's okay. I'm not going to go through that much work for my vanity.
I don't know, Joe. I'm going to wear the Capillus.
Yeah,
next.
$1,000.
Well, since you had me bring it up on my computer here, Facebook is already sending me sponsored ads for the Capillus baseball caps. So if I act now, I can get a 15% discount. So I'll be sure to wear my Capillus hat on Monday. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Joe is dedicated to the brutal truth, and the brutal truth is don't buy nothing stupid. This is stupid. Okay, on to readers or leaders. This is actually a new section. I'm an avid reader. I would trust. Jay, do you read a lot of books?
If I have time, I read children's books to my 5-year-old son.
That's important.
So that's important. That's about the only time that I have to make for sitting down with a good book, is to make sure that I read with my son. So
okay,
that's
we've
where
all
it stands
heard,
right now.
So we've all heard the phrase "readers are leaders." It is true for a reason, and this is a section that I'm introducing. Every Thursday, I will talk about a book. Jay's going to bring up the one we're going to talk about today: 15 Secrets of Time Management of Super Successful Real Estate Agents. I think, is that the title, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is a cool book. I've actually read this book. I actually know one of the authors. This book is co-authored. Can you read off the author's names? I want to get it right.
Kevin, it could be Cruz, Kruse.
Cruz, yep.
Yeah, Kevin Cruz is the author.
Kevin Cruz. He is a co-author with this book called Honore Quarter. I've read dozens of Honore's other books, all in the self-help genre. But this book is really cool because it outlines some secrets. Now, Kevin has a previous book to this, 15 Secrets of Time Management of the Super Successful. So the book I'm talking about here is dedicated to the real estate industry, but he has one as well just in general. I love these books. Sometimes I read books cross-industry. One of the concepts right out of the gate in this book is something called 1440. You have 1,440 minutes in each and every day. He suggests posting this around your workspace and your environment to keep you aware of your minutes and how they're going. And I've done this, and it actually is harder to sit and waste time watching television or going on Facebook with it's right on my computer. So I suggest this book. Reach out to it, and please, 15 Times Secrets. Next Thursday, another book. Also today we're going to talk about the advice test. What is the advice test? Well, I got to tell you, in my own life, I have found that as I have changed and grown and really worked on becoming a better human being and a better father and a better husband and a better friend, that at times I am called upon to give advice. And I have learned in my life that as I give that advice, the nature of the world, the universe, and God is going to put me in a spot, usually within 24 to 48 hours, to put into practice the things that I advise. Yesterday on this show, I said you had to pick what kind of attitude you were going to have, that you were going to choose how your morale was. And I was put to the test yesterday. This is what I call the advice test. So if you're going to give advice to anybody, be sure you are ready to apply the advice that you give to people. And yes, I had a day yesterday that was not as glorious as I would like it to have been by noon. And I had to make a conscious choice to get grateful and to remember to choose the kind of day I was having, to be honest and to get some perspective about where I live and how good my life really, really is, even though it wasn't going quite the way I want. And the fact that I have an amazing future ahead of me. The station is new, the show is new. Would I love to be at 1 million views a day? Yeah, sure. But that'll come someday. It's down the road. And that's how you pick your attitude. And that's how you follow the advice test. If you have any comments on this, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. If you disagree with me, again, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I think, did you just bring up my website, my phone number is there. Just give me a call. Finally, we are going to be back in just a few minutes. We're going to hear from our sponsors, again, who have a special place in my heart. But when we come back, we're going to have Donna Digennaro of the Clermont Historical Society tell us about the Clermont Historic Village. So I'm really looking forward to hear from that. We will see you in a couple of minutes. See you in a minute.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Welcome to Erika's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erika's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
Saturday night, October 5th, Claremont, Florida, get ready as local pro wrestling presents Fight Fest, featuring 6 hard-hitting matches, including the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, against Aaron Epic. In the semi-main event, a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal, and former TNA superstar Mr. 630 Jarrell Clark. And the main event for the evening, former WWF WCW superstar, the Cuban Assassin, takes on the marquee Bruce Santee. Adult tickets are $15 and children ages 5 to 12 are only $10. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite. For more details, follow us on Facebook at Local Pro Wrestling or visit localprowrestling.com. Come support local pro wrestling live.
Purchasing a home? Hi, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local direct lender for FHA, VA, conventional, and USDA mortgages. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or looking to purchase a vacation home, we can help. Visit our website today for more information.
And welcome back. So good to hear from our sponsors. I'm so glad to have Donna. I'd like to welcome Donna to the show officially.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joe.
Oh, well, it was a chore getting back, I'm sure. Thank you for fitting us into your schedule.
It was easy.
Donna was so sweet the other day when I was trying to reschedule her. We were talking about the things she had to do. I talked about bringing her back in the next day, and it just didn't work out. Today worked out just perfect.
Yep.
This is Donna Digennaro. She is on the board of directors for the Claremont Historical Society. Mm-hmm. She is the PR ambassador for the Claremont Historical Society.
I'm the committee.
Basically, she's the one-woman committee
Yeah.
for that. She taught 30 years social studies in the Maryland School District, Baltimore?
Just outside of Baltimore.
Just outside of Baltimore. She is a hospital volunteer, and she is on the Women's Giving Alliance, which is a special organization that of women who give to causes for women. We may get a chance to talk about that. Donna, tell us a little bit about the Historical Society and what its purpose is.
Well, the Historical Society was founded by a group of people quite a few years ago in the 90s. And we are fortunate in that Mickey Blackburn Nagel was one of those people, and she's still actively involved in our organization. And we have this relationship with the city of Claremont where they own the historic village, which is located on West Street, not far from historic downtown Claremont. They own the structures. We own everything in the structures, all beautiful donations from the citizens of the Claremont area. And we open it up to the public every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we host a lot of neat events, too.
Tell us about the village itself. I mean, what is the significance of the village in Claremont history?
Well, it contains two homes,
We've actually got some of this. If you want to talk about these, if you look to some of these are
all
up
right.
on the screen.
The Townsend House, which is on the far left, that's the home of the first African American family to live permanently in Claremont, James and Sally Townsend. And that was built in the 1890s. And when you go in there, you walk on the original floors that James laid himself. So that's pretty neat. The next house, the Kern House, is 10 years older than the Townsend House. It looks very different. I call that a New Jersey house. I grew up in New Jersey, and I can guarantee you that's a New Jersey house. And the Kerns were from New Jersey. Mrs. Kern was homesick. Her husband dragged her down here to then Mosquito County. That's what we were called.
Wow.
Mosquito County. I would love to live in Mosquito County, wouldn't you? And
you see why people change the name at some point.
Yeah. And so she was homesick, so he built her a New Jersey home. And they were very influential in the area. In fact, their son William was the third mayor for the town. So they were very influential. And then the one on the extreme right, that's our original Cooper Memorial Library. One-room library built on land donated by Mrs. Alice Cooper, not the singer, Mrs.
Not
Alice.
the rock and roll star,
No.
full disclosure.
Yes, Mrs. Alice Cooper. She and her husband Montgomery came down here. They had one daughter who married a gentleman whose last name was Bishop. You may have heard the name Bishop in town before, like the chief of the fire department. Mm-hmm. Carl Bishop is a direct descendant of the Coopers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what about I see there's something about the railroad depot.
Oh, then there's the railroad depot. That was built in the 1920s. And the depot, we had actually two different lines that serviced this area. And their tracks ran parallel to each other. I mean, side by side. We have a picture where you can see both tracks right next to each other, but they were different gauges. So you couldn't put one line's trains on the other line's tracks. And this was a unique depot in that it handled both product and people. So there was a citrus packing plant just on the other side of the tracks from that, but also passengers would get on trains. And that was the way, if you lived in Claremont and you wanted to go to Groveland, you took the train.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you have the 1943 Quonset hut. Now, it's really a three-quarter Quonset hut. A full Quonset hut has a total half-circle roof. But we still just call it the Quonset hut. And it has been turned into a World War II museum. Some of the most amazing things you have ever seen in there. Uniforms in pristine condition that people have given us, medals, photographs, just
But these
amazing.
all donated by Claremont or Lake County residents?
Yes.
South Lake County residents?
Everything is a donation. In every building, everything is a donation. And in fact, on October 12th, America's Mighty Warriors military race is going to be held at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning at the village. We're not usually open at 10 a.m., but the Quonset hut will be opened, and there will be a dedication ceremony before the race that will recognize local veterans and military people.
Tell us a little bit about the artifacts that are there in the village. I mean, you mentioned some uniforms for this, but what about some of the most interesting artifacts from the other buildings?
Some gorgeous furniture. Absolutely breathtaking
All
furniture.
period pieces.
Oh, yes. In the Kern House is the big two-story house. In the two of the bedrooms upstairs, we have complete bedroom suites. That's what they used to call them. So it's the bed with a headboard that almost reaches the ceiling.
Wow.
And matching dressers, marble top. One of the bedrooms, both the dressers have marble tops. I mean, just beautiful things. Sofas, rocking chairs. We have a Morris chair in the library, which is a recliner. We have a wheelchair.
An early version of
a recliner,
right?
Yeah. We have a wheelchair that looks exactly like the wheelchair you see in the pictures of Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. We have medical equipment. Some of it looks very scary, but we have medical equipment. We have a wooden potty seat for a kid. I mean, you name it, we've got it. We've got books. We have family Bibles. And in the Townsend House, we actually have items that were in the Townsend House when the Townsends lived there. We have a picture of their daughter, Bertha, hanging on the wall in the dining room that hung in the house when they lived there. Yeah. So we have some really fascinating things.
You know, I grew up in Boston. And
a lot of history.
A lot of history. Boston, New Hampshire, up in those areas. A lot of history. As a matter of fact, I grew up in a house that was almost 300 years old. And it wasn't an expensive house. It wasn't where, like, rich people lived.
Oh, no.
My grandfather was blue collar and so
Yeah.
So that's the kind of history that I'm used to. It was so weird for me when I came to Florida to have people tell me that an old building was from, they talk about, because I'm in real estate, and they tell me that they didn't want that house. It's old. It's from 1960.
Yeah.
Because where I'm from, an old building, you don't even say a building's old until it's like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So with that said, why is it important to have something like this for a community?
Well, there are a number of reasons. First off, there's the phrase "lest we forget," and they apply to huge events in history. We've just celebrated the anniversary of 9/11. Never forget. And it's important that we never forget the big things, but it's also important that we never forget the day-to-day things that people did. We have to know who we are, and to know where we want to go, we have to know where we've been. I was a history teacher. This is ingrained in me. I mean, it's in my DNA somehow. I guess it's because my parents were from New England also, but Massachusetts too. But I just think if we really want to raise a generation of individuals who understand where America has been, to get it to really mean something to them, it can't just be on this day in this year the battle of such and such happened, and this many people died on each side. That's meaningful, but that doesn't translate to a kid. But if you say, this is how Mrs. So-and-so had to do her laundry, with a long dress that reached the ground,
Here's the washboard,
standing next to a burning fire and making sure that her dress didn't catch on fire, you should see little girls go, what? Pass around an iron that weighs as much as one of the kids in the room, because you've got kindergartners in the room, and watch the kids' eyes light up. Of course, some of them have never even seen an iron because mom doesn't own one, but it brings it alive. And when I was teaching history, I tried to do that, but it's hard to do in a classroom because there is a core of basic knowledge that you have to get out, and you can't concentrate that much on the individual. I can do that here.
Do you know when I love movies, and I'm a big fan of history, having just because of my past, my experience in the military, and having grown up in a very historical area. I love movies from the 20s and 30s. I'm not a big fan of silent movies, but I love movies from the 20s and 30s because most of them are steeped in the lifestyle that they lived. Mm-hmm. And anybody, if you see a television show from the 70s, almost every doctor in every television show is smoking a cigarette, right? So our culture changes, our perceptions change.
And his office is in his house.
But I can remember a moment, and I see these moments in movies, is, they talk about anesthesia. Well, we assume anesthesia is just part of a surgery, but that wasn't always the case. Somebody had to figure out how to put somebody out without them dying. My son studies medicine, and he brought me someplace, and we saw a Civil War bone saw, which sounds horrible in and of itself.
But it was a great advancement if only they washed their hands on the saw.
But here's the thing that's visceral about it is my son points out to me, yeah, Dad, the only anesthesia they had then was whiskey.
And you could give whiskey to a man, but you would not give whiskey to a woman.
Exactly.
So all women's surgery was done without any painkiller.
Right. So, but the point is, it's getting children to understand. That's how we get grateful of who we are, right? Is the getting a visceral understanding of where we've come from.
Yeah.
We talk about that in your own life here, but something like The Village, I think, really brings that to the forefront. Let me ask you this. When is the Village open? How do people, if they want to bring a class or they just want to bring their family by?
Okay.
Was there a cost?
We have scheduled hours, and during our scheduled hours, we're free. We ask for a $3 donation per person, and we don't always get that from everyone because they give what they have. But we do ask for a $3 donation. Friday, 1 to 3, Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4. And if for some reason we have to be closed, we usually announce it ahead of time. We have a board there, and if we know well ahead of time, I try to get that into the papers that we will be closed on a given day. Like we're having a wedding on such and such a day, so we have to be closed.
Oh, so you rent the Village out for those kind of events too?
Yes, we do. Now, we would love to have teachers bring their classes. And in fact, at this year's Teacher Appreciation Breakfast, every single teacher in their goodie bag, got a little thing that said, "Come to the Village. And they can come for free."
So they can bring a class. Doesn't cost the school anything. They just got to get there.
Yes. They can come for free. Now, let's suppose you had a bunch of your New England relatives visiting you, and they were not going to be here on the weekend. They were going to be here from Monday to Thursday, and you wanted them to see the village. You call the village, you leave a message, or you reach our manager, Roxanne Brown, directly, depending on her schedule. You leave a message, get back to you. We set up a day and time, and we have volunteers there. If you want, they'll be in costume. And then we do require $3 per person to do
as a
that.
donation.
Yes.
Oh, I really like that. This has been great, Donna. I really appreciate this. It's important. We have your website up.
That's going to get redone soon.
Is it?
But yes. Yeah.
Is it? I understand there's been a change. You're not the South Lake.
We're the Claremont Historical Society now. When we were founded, there was not an historical society in the other cities around, and they were actually members. Now they're forming their own
because they've grown.
Because they've grown and they've gotten involved, and we are dedicating our time really to the village, so to reflect what the realities of the situation. We changed our name this year.
You still work together, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
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 This is actually kind of an interesting website. They have all sorts of information there. Looks like they even tell you where to park.
Yeah.
Looks like we have a map. There's
Yes,
a walking, so you can walk through that yourself.
Yeah. Oh yes. We have gates on our parking lot, but we only close them if there's going to be a big event, and we want to make sure that our parking lot is available to.
Makes sense. Well, Donna, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. I want you to take a look at the audience and tell them how to get in touch with you if they want to donate, if they want to come out and see something.
Well, you can go to our website, obviously. We have a Facebook page.
What's the name of the Facebook page? Do you know?
It's a Claremont Historic Village.
Claremont Historic Village Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also would like to encourage people, if they're really interested in history, to join us. We have a meeting every month on the second Monday in the evening. The board meets at 6:00, and then we have a presentation at 7:00. And so on October 14th, Doris Bloodsworth and Lisa Graham are going to be there, and they're going to be talking about the new Gem of the Hills book that they've come up with.
Great.
They checked all the facts in Gem of the Hills, made editorial changes if necessary to reflect the changes since it was written, and then Doris has added 3 additional chapters to the book, and it's coming out soon.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, once again, I want to say thank you to Donna. We will. I just want to say this has been a great show. Look, if you know anybody that should be a guest here on Joe Knows South Lake, please reach out to me at the contact information. I'm sure Jay has that up again. You can email me or call me. Let's see. So if you know anybody who wants to advertise, promote their business, if they want to, we still have room for sponsorships on the show. Please, again, contact me through that contact information. Wow, I'm so used to saying this is the first time we had the contact info. I'm so used to saying onejoeknows@gmail.com. So, with all that said, please like, love, share. Once again, I want to remind you there is greatness inside you. Dare to show that greatness today. And I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake.